Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Again, my name is Lee, your virtual airline pilot. Thanks for joining me, and hope you enjoy this, the third review this week. We're back in the United States, and this is AKRON Canton Airport in Ohio in the United States, Kilo Charlie Alpha Kilo. This is a payware scenery by FLY2HIGH, and this is the current version 2 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. There is a Flight Sim 2024 version available as well. The download comes in at just over 2 gigs and it installs at just under 4 gigs, 3.91 gigs. Scenery is available from AnyBuilds, Orbix and SimMarket. As of today, the 12th of March 2025, the best price I can find is the one at Orbix, which comes in at €15.67 or $17.06 US or £13.16 UK. All of the above prices are estimates taken from the Australian dollar, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. X-Plane users might be interested to know this scenery is also available for X-Plane, so they've done pretty well. FLY2HIGH is a well-known developer. They don't just stick to one simulator to develop their sceneries, which is good for many customers. So there you go. Let's look at features now. Okay, features. We have a highly detailed rendition of AKRON Canton Airport, Kilo Charlie Alpha Kilo. The entire main terminal has interior development, accurate airport and runway elevation data, custom jetways, custom approach, runway, taxiway lights, ILS and other objects, and custom taxiway labeling. So there we go, those are the features for you. Let's now look at some history of this airport. Okay, history then. AKRON Canton Airport, Kilo Charlie Alpha Kilo, is a public use commercial airport in the city of Greene in southern Summit County in the state of Ohio in the United States. The airport is operated by AKRON Canton Regional Airport Authority, and a small piece of each runway is to be found inside Stark County. The airport is located about 14 miles or 23 kilometers southeast of Akron and 10 miles or 16 kilometers northwest of Canton. The airport is a reliever airport for northeast Ohio and markets itself as a better way to go, emphasizing the ease of travel in comparison to the nearby Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Just under 90% of its traffic is general aviation. The airport has a maintenance base for PSA Airlines, a regional carrier owned by American Airlines Group that flies under the American Eagle brand. Initial construction of the airport was privately funded, with land being purchased to begin with. Dedication came in October 1946, with the airport being named AKRON Canton Massillon Airport. The name was later changed to AKRON Canton Regional Airport, and the passenger service began in 1948 with American, United, Capital and Eastern Airlines all operating into and out of this airport. A permanent terminal was built in 1955 and expanded in 1962. In the summer of 2020, a new expansion was made to the terminal, relocating gates from the original terminal to a new bi-level concourse. The original gates and terminal area from the 1960s were slated for demolition to make room for new aircraft parking areas. In 2021, the airport received $7.7 million from the Federal Aviation Administration to acquire some snow removal equipment, rehabilitate taxiways and aviation aprons, improve and update existing lighting systems, and perform sealing along the sections of taxiway surface area. During the mid-2000s, the airport was one of the fastest growing airports in the Midwest, and it experienced its busiest year in 2012, with 1.83 million passengers passing through. By 2017, the airport's traffic sank to its lowest level, with several carriers relocating to the nearby Cleveland Hopkins International. In September 2021, Allegiant Air announced that they would be returning to AKRON Canton Airport, flying to 4 different destinations, with operations having begun in March 2022. Further expansions to Fort Lauderdale and Orlando Sanford were announced in May 2022. In February this year, 2025, Breeze Airways announced that AKRON Canton Airport will be opening a new crew base, set to start in the summer of 2025. And currently, as of 2025, Breeze Airways, Allegiant Air, American Eagle and United operate into AKRON Canton Airport, some seasonal and some scheduled. So there you are, folks, some history for you. This airport has won and lost carriers over the years, but is now operating quite nicely and often receives sort of overflow traffic from the nearby Cleveland Hopkins International. Okay, so let's look at runways now. Okay, runways. So now I've lowered the lighting. It's just before 7:30 in the evening. As you can see, the sun is sinking there on the horizon. And we're looking at the runway situation here. So AKRON Canton Airport operates two runways. Runway 2305 measures 8,204 feet, or 2,501 meters. And we're looking down the throat of that now. The other runway, 1901, measures 7,601 feet, or 2,317 meters. Both runways are made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 1,226 feet, or 374 meters, and sits within the GMT UTC -5 hours time zone. Now, like much of the US, the state of Ohio does indeed observe daylight saving time, or DST, and with the UK currently on GMT, the airport remains 5 hours behind the UK. So we're starting with runway 2305, which we're looking down the throat of runway 23 at the moment. Both ends feature high intensity runway lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So this all looks pretty correct. You've got your approach lighting system. The only difference here is in the scenery here, they've added a centerline lighting here they've added, which isn't on the charts, but the approach lighting, the PAPIs, everything else is just as it should be. So that said, let's have a look at the other end, runway 05. So here we are at the other end looking down the throat of runway 05, and you can see exactly the same. You've got the approach lighting system, PAPIs on the left hand side as they should be, the high intensity runway lighting, and again of course we've got the centerline light that goes all the way down the runway, so no surprises there. All looks pretty good. Okay, so let's have a look at runway 01, which is to the right of us. So here we're looking down the throat of runway 01 towards the north, and runway 0119. Both ends of this runway again have high intensity runway lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the left side for runway 19 only. So there's no PAPIs, no PAPIs on this end, but there should be one at the other end. Once again, we have all correct here, except they've added the centerline light, which, to be honest, I have no quarrel about. Anything that helps you find the runway, certainly at low light, is a plus for me. And you've got the approach lighting system here, the short approach, just as it is on the chart. So let's have a look at the other end, runway 19. Okay, so here we are looking south. This is the threshold of runway 19 in front of us. And once again, it's as per the charts. You've got the PAPIs on the left, which are not available at the other end on 01. And you've got the approach lighting system. And once again, you have the centerline lights that go all the way down the runway, which is the only addition to these two runways. Everything else seems fine. So what about approaches? Okay, so for runway 2305, you have approach options at both ends, standard instrument landing system, an RNAV GPS approach option, and a VOR approach option. And as for 1901, again, you have a standard instrument landing system, an RNAV GPS approach option, but no VOR approach. All of these runways are fully grooved. So there you go, runways look fine. As you look over this scenery, you'll see variations in the concrete and the tarmac, which, to be honest, suggests to me that they've had other runways here that have been changed and maneuvered about. So just be very careful when you're coming in to land and make sure you land on the right surface. But apart from that, no, it's fine. So that's the runways. Let's get to the jetway test now. Okay, Jetway. So before we start, I want to just explore two situations. We're on stand number one, and notice we've got all the markings here for the different aircraft. They're all pretty blurred. Can't see an A320 among them because the blurring, the markings are just not sharp enough. They need to be sharper. Here are the stop bars, and as you can see, we spawned from the menu, but we're not actually on any one of the stop bars. There's no stop bar there. But apart from that, you know, we're in the right position. It looks as though this will reach the doorway, which is what we're looking for. One other thing to mention, I initially spawned onto gate 5 and operated the Jetway for a test and found that it reached the door, but actually the Jetway itself broke here in the middle. There was a big gap. So not all of these Jetways will work with aircraft like this. When you spawn onto the stand on some of the Jetways, they'll reach the aircraft, but there'll be a great big gap in the Jetway because it doesn't fully expand. That was on gate 5, on stand number 5. Here on stand number 1 it actually works. I've tested it before and I'll now show you. Okay, so here we are looking at door L1. On stand number 1 we've got the Phoenix Airbus A320 spawned directly from the menu. Let's operate the Jetway. So there we go, the wheels are turning. You can see the actual stairwell is raised up, so it's not going to go into the concrete. And here it's gone quite close to the aircraft and fitted quite well. Now in stand number 5, this section here was stationary when this moved out, and so there was a big box gap here. I don't know if that works on it's the same situation on the other Jetways. There's a number of them, but obviously as you can see here, this one works. So stand number 1 will be perfectly okay for A320s and 737s. So let's go and have a closer look at the fit. So that looks to be a reasonably good fit. It's almost up close to the aircraft here, but not quite. It's okay, it's good enough. Not sure if this has gone through the skin. It looks like it might have done, but we'll have a look in a minute. But as you can see, the Jetway is nicely textured and weathered. The wheels have stopped within the safe area. It all looks pretty good. Let's have a look at the other side. So there's the Jetway from the other side. As you can see, it's close to the aircraft, but not quite. There's a bit of a gap there. It's a reasonably good fit. I've seen a lot worse, so no real complaints. So let's go inside and see how much space there is in the doorway. Okay, so here we are looking inside. As you can see, the door ever so slightly impinges the side of the hood here. It's a reasonable fit. Like I said, I've seen a lot worse, but the door opens, and again, you know, if you're using GSX, your passengers can come out. You'll see them walking through. As ever, unfortunately, we've got a closed door. As I've said in a couple of recent videos, developers, please, if you're doing custom Jetways, see if you can customize the entrance door at the end. So when it's connected to an aircraft, these are open, so you GSX users can watch passengers go all the way up, and then when the Jetway is pulled off, you can have this closed. Just a nice feature, I think, that would be really nice. So just a quick shot of this side. There's the open door. As you can see, actually it fits pretty well within the hood. The hood hasn't been infringed by the doorway, which is pretty good. And on the other side, that looks pretty good as well. So let's look out from inside the cabin. So there's a view of the Jetway from inside the aircraft. Here you can see that the gap is noticeable, but like I said, I've seen a lot worse. This is no worse than any others I've seen. And they're looking inside the cabin. Here you can see where the hood has gone through the aircraft skin here. And here, looking inside the flight deck, you can see this side of the hood hasn't penetrated the cabin at all, which is great. So there's an overview of the Jetway connected to the aircraft, and that seems to work pretty well. Let's disconnect it now. Once again, the hood springs back, and the wheels move correctly as they should, and the Jetway concertinas all the way back. That's not a bad animation at all, to be honest. It's pretty good. So there you go, folks. That was the Jetway test. Everything looks pretty good. So now let's get down to the airport proper and explore the latest from FLY2HIGH, and see how good it is. Okay, welcome back to the daytime. I thought we'd start in the far northwest corner at the moment. This is the ANG hangar, and just a couple of shots here to show you what they've done. They've developed this as well, which is great. As you can see, the fence line below us, and there's the ramp complete with street lamps as well. It'd be interesting to see what this looks like after dark. So here you can see some military equipment there parked to landside, and we've got a C-130 Hercules there. Again, no expense has been spared with the attention to detail. You've got some lovely army vehicles there and various containers. The hangars look pretty good, and they're weathered as well. And we've got down lighting on them as well, so they should look pretty good at night. Here's the Hercules transport. It's not the greatest model in the world, but it looks okay. Unfortunately, they've got the writing the wrong way around here, so that I think maybe needs to be corrected. And here you can see on the other side of the model, the writing is the correct way round. So this could do with a bit of a tidy up, really. But as you can see, you know, you military guys are well taken care of here. You've got a nicely detailed area here that's been done very nice. And finally, there's an overview just looking off airport to the northwest. So then next we have this area, which is directly to the east of the area we've just looked at. It's listed on the chart as Transient Parking, but you've also got GA type aircraft here as well. A couple of hangars. Once again, the detail's pretty good. Buildings are weathered. No expense has been spared on adding this area correctly as it should. And the buildings and hangars look pretty good. Ignore the FLY2HIGH jet down there, that's an add-on. And once again, the buildings and hangars are really nicely done, and we've got down lighting here as well, so I would expect to see this lit up quite a bit at night. And you've got 3 Cessna 208 Caravans here parked, which look perfectly okay. They may well be default models, I'm not sure. They look pretty good. And a quick shot landside of the facility. We're looking northeast, and looking back towards the hangars there, you've got some cars in a car park. It all looks pretty nice, no complaints at all. And then finally you've got this facility, which is it's literally due west of the terminal area. It's the farthest out there. It's listed on the chart, but there's no markings as to what it is, but you can see we've got military jets there. There's a radar dome turning there too. And there's a hangar. Our radar facility looks pretty good. And we've got a close look at some interceptor jets there as well. A couple of different interceptor jets there. There's the museum. It's quite a large hangar by the looks of it. Again, we've got another Herc. And once again, the United States Air Force decal has been put on the wrong way round. So these little things need to be corrected at some point, I think. There's a view from landside. And another view just looking at the Hercules there. Okay, so that's the northwest corner explored. Obviously plenty to see, plenty for you military guys to be taken care of. Let's get back to the central area and have a look at the terminal and the facilities for us commercial pilots. Okay, so let's start the tour from the north heading south. As you can see, we've got some low resolution ground textures, which aren't great. They work in some places like there, and other places are not quite so good. But you know, you can't fault it. It really looks pretty good. You've got everything included here. And the ground concrete looks pretty good. The buildings are accurate and they've been weathered very nicely. So we're touring airside here, coming up towards the main terminal. There's my A320 parked on stand 1. And as you can see here, we're going across the stands. You've got the control tower in front of you and the terminal next door. The ramp textures look great. You've got everything there, right down to the hydrant connectors as well. It would be nice to see the aircraft signage on the ramp maybe a little sharper so it can be read properly. But here you can see the additional stands, some of which, like I said, when they extend, they actually seem to break in the middle. Here's stand number 5, which is the longest. There you got the longest jetway. A little bit of texture flashing. I mean, that might be my graphics card, to be honest. But all looks pretty impressive. And we continue south. I mean, it's great. It really, very little to complain about. It's been quite nicely done. The buildings are all accurate. They're nicely weathered. The cars, none of which I can see are out of their slots. They all look really quite good. And they've covered everything here. Literally fine. There's the fire department building is down here as well. And you've got the southern de-icing pad, which I believe is to the right here. As we carry on down here, it's really quite impressive. Okay, so we've got some photo cars down there. And the light poles are pretty good. And you can see various hangars and bits and pieces here as well. Castle Aviation, so it's obviously got a big hangar there. Very nice. So while we're out here, let's have a look at some taxiway signage. Here you've got the approach access to runway 01. Looking west here, this is Alpha. Got the stop lines. All looks pretty good there. And for those you do a full-length landing on runway 19, here you've got the final exit there by the same runway. You can also see that we've got lighting here, so at least blue airfield edge lights, I think we will see them at night time. So here's taxiway Foxtrot that comes off and on the runway 0119. Again, the signage is perfectly acceptable. And the markings are pretty good as well. Okay, back to the stand area, the main ramp. Here we are, stand 1, aircraft parked there. Just a close look at the buildings and bits and pieces that's going on here. Here you can see some industrial equipment there, a couple of tugs. Here's a close-up of the stand. As you can see, we're not on any perceived marking here, and you've got the various aircraft marking things here, but they're not very clear, unfortunately. But apart from that, I mean, the stand looks great. You've got pretty much every little bit of equipment you'd expect to see here. And as you can see, it looks pretty realistic. No complaints at all, really. So here's the view from the flight deck. When you pull up on stand 1, this is what you will see. Yeah, we're looking out of the captain's window. And through the first officer's window. And a quick view out through the passenger side on the starboard window. So as you can see, the detail on the ramp is pretty good. It's really nicely, everything is weathered, all looks real. The doors are closed here, which is fine. Like I've said before, it would be nice if they opened up whenever they were attached to an aircraft that's parked. Let's get a close look at the terminal now. So here's a view looking from airside of stand 3. There you can see you've got people inside the terminal. We'll have a look at those in a minute. First of all, let's look at the control tower. So there's the control tower from the outside. We've got a nice view. You can see from the outside the glass is misted. Really good signage on the outside, and the control tower is developed inside. So let's have a look. Here's the view inside the tower. Okay, the figures are a bit bland, but you know, at the end of the day, they've done it. They've manned the control tower and developed it, which is fine. It's just what you want for an airport. And there's a quick view across the airfield looking out. Okay, so let's go inside the terminal from airside and see what we can see. We're on the lower level here. And there's a nice scene. It really is quite nice. It's lovely to see them all populated. And looking up, you've got this model on the roof, which looks really good as well. So we have a look. You've got the escalators here going up to the upper level, which is also manned. So here we are in the terminal airside. Just try and take a slow run through here. I mean, it's good. You've got passengers, various passengers. Oh, this is nice. I mean, they've done a nice job. Children's play area. So here we are, Gate 5. I just thought we'd have a look at the sign monitors here, and it's not bad. That's quite readable. That's perfectly okay. And it's great. I mean, the detail in here is really nice. And as you can see, it goes on. It's lovely. There's lots to see here for you. So let's get down to the lower level. There's a huge open concourse here. And again, plenty of people, and as you can see, the frame rate's not affected at all. And now we're coming out to landside. So a quick tour of the landside part of the interior of the terminal. So this is the way it looks going south. It's very nicely done. A baggage reclaim here, so you've got arrivals here. And there you can see baggage reclaim things. So we look in the other direction. It's great. It's littered with people, and it's really nice. I think we've got check-in up here. Yes, we have. Very nice. Okay, so let's have a look landside. First of all, the far north part here, we got transient parking. This is AV flight. Would have been nice to see this car park and everything done in 3D. It's all a bit low resolution, unfortunately. But again, the buildings are really nicely done. We've got another hangar there, and you've got the animated flag as well. So let's just start the tour landside. You've got an old biplane there to the left, look. And here we're approaching the terminal. All very nice. And there you can see inside the building, and we've got people out landside waiting to go in as well, which is also very nice. This is what brings an airport to life. It's great. We've got another car park, huge car parks here. There's the Goodyear building. And there you can see entry barriers. It just would have been nice to see this done in 3D rather than left to photoreal. But apart from that, no complaints really. There you've got the entry barriers to the airport. And as you can see here, we've got some off-airport work as well. This looks like a big hotel. Little bit fun and games with the terrain here. But again, you know, no complaints. It looks good. The scenery's good. The airport's going to be fine. Very nice indeed. Okay, so that was it during the daytime. As you can see, I mean, there's lots of 3D, there's lots of photo scenery here, which to some extent spoils it a little bit. Would have been nice to have it done in 3D, but they've chosen not to do that. But from a pilot's point of view, everything you need here is available, and it all works, and it looks pretty good. Lovely to see the interior of the terminal, the control tower done the way it's been done. It's beautiful. So let's drop it down to dusk now and have a look at what this looks like at dusk. Okay, before we go right down to dusk, I just thought I'd show you this. I sort of lowering the light, and here we are at sunset. I mean, here's a beautiful view of the glow on the buildings, which is very nice, I have to say. Okay, so let's drop it down to sunset now. Okay, 5:30 in the evening. As you can see, the lights came on about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Here we are at dusk, and it looks pretty good. This looks a little bit over brash here, but then maybe it's done that way to give maximum effect. As you can see, we've got green lead-in lights, various taxiway lighting around. The taxiway signage is also lit, which is excellent. So they're looking to the north. You've got the various hangars and stuff there. They're all lit, and you can see these blue airfield edge lights are the glowing type, which I actually quite like, to be honest. Various off-airport buildings as well over here. And they've done a nice job on this airport. It's very nice. And as you can see in the distance there, you've got the transient parking area and the military area all lit up as well. So you guys, your military guys, are well taken care of. Be nice to see that in use too. And finally, looking south, you've got runway 01 threshold in the distance, and you've got this additional area down there to the south, all lit up. Even the buildings that are slightly off airport here are all nicely lit up. Very nice indeed. Once again, a view from the flight deck. Here's the view outside the cockpit. And the view looking out of the first officer's window. So once again, showing you the ramp. The lights are there. I mean, the lights are really bright. I don't think you're not going to have any problem. But again, you've got some really nice detail here, right down to the downlights on this little building here. All of these really nice touches. And look, oil stains. It's been very nicely done. And here's my aircraft on Palm Stand 1. Again, really nice. You could suggest maybe the lights are a bit over bright. But you know, I don't mind. I think it looks fine, to be honest. So let's have a little tour down the airport from north to south. There you can see inside the terminal from outside, which is a nice touch. We'll just tour across the airside ramp here and have a look at the signage and the ramp in general. This is the only real complaint, these little floating globes that mean absolutely nothing, to be honest. But as you can see, the ramp, the blue airfield edge lights, I mean, it's great. It looks very nice. This is a nice job, really is. It's really nice wherever you look. The lighting is very nice. Some of it's overdone, but no, it's fine. You know, it's very, very nice. So let's have a closer look at the lighting on the taxiway signage. So there you can see these blue airfield edge lights are the sort of semi-white glowing type, which I really quite like. Entrance to runway 01 there, signage is well lit. It's a pity about the globes floating. I'd like to see them removed. If it's possible that they could remove them, we'll see. So once again you can see through the terminal glass, which is good. Here's the landside area. And again, plenty of people. Very nice indeed. Really brings an airport to life, and you've got animated flags there as well. So here's this model that we looked at before. I believe this is a copy of the Wright brothers' first aircraft, which looks really quite nice. Very nice indeed. And just to look at some airport signage landside here. Once again, all properly done, eminently readable. But yeah, the only distracting thing for me are these globes floating around all over the place. They really need to be removed. That's my only real major concern here. And finally, just a high-level overview there, looking landside into airside. I mean, the airport looks wonderful. The tower's lit up as well inside. And lots of subtle lighting that really does the job. Here's the PSA building down here to the right that we discussed in the history. So that was dusk. As you can see, the sunset is rapidly diminishing. Let's turn it down to night time now and have a look at the effect. Okay, 10 PM local time, and here we are looking at the terminal complex at night time. Again, your green taxiway lighting is eminently visible. The ramps are well lit up. I don't think you're not going to have any problem, I don't think, finding your way to an aircraft stand. Certainly if you need the chance to taxi around, but you've got blue airfield edge lights, green centerline lights, everything marking your way, so shouldn't be an issue. The lighting looks pretty good. It has come up somewhat, which you would expect. There you've got airside and landside, and once again all of the buildings that are properly lit showing in the distance. And once again there we are looking at the transit area and the military area in the northwest corner of the airport also have the lighting. Okay, we'll start the southern part. Just a quick look at some of the buildings here and the way they've been lit. I mean, it looks pretty good, to be honest. They're a bit brash, but you know, it works. My only problem is all of these globes floating around everywhere you see. And as you can see, all the buildings have some kind of subtle lighting, which looks great. Okay, slow tour, south to north this time. We're airside. I'm just going to raise up and just go over the top of the central area where you can see landside and airside, and we'll pass the control tower nice and close. As you can see, there's interior lighting in the terminal as well, which means you'll be able to see all those wonderful people. Here's the tower, all lit up inside, and your people as well. Very pleasant indeed. Okay, just a couple of quick shots landside here at night time. Looking to the north here. There you've got the airport entrance. We're looking across the car park. Down here below us you've got the Wright brothers aeroplane. And there's a view landside to airside across the main terminal and parking area. Okay, so that was night time. Now let's bring the dawn up. And if I'm in the right position, we should have the sun coming up behind us. Okay, just after 7:45 in the morning, and here's the view looking west, the sunrise coming up behind us. So you've got this lovely red glow on the buildings. A nice time of day to fly, I always say. They're looking northwest, the transit area and the military area all up there in the corner. And looking towards the south, and the sun rising in the distance, looking towards the entrance to the airport there. Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning and time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yeah, it's yet another interesting American airport. So we're littered with some really good airports in the US now. Don't think this has been done before, so nice to see it finally on the map. Is it worth the price? Just under 16 euros, just over $17. Yeah, absolutely. It's at the cheaper end of the market, which is good. Which is only right, to be honest, because much of this is photo scenery. It's not 3D, so I would the price I think reflects the amount of work that's been done. But to be honest, actually quite a lot more has been done. The internal of the terminal, the vehicle is going around here. I haven't seen anybody entering the runway, which is good. It's lovely. It's a good price, and remember those prices include tax at 20%. I think in the US it'll be a bit cheaper because their tax isn't as high. But yet another lovely airport, beautifully done. The runways and taxiways look great. The texturing is of a very high quality. Nice to see the odd little things here and there. You've got the Wright brothers model down here, and you've got that aircraft inside the terminal. They've done a lovely job of the interior terminal modeling. It's very nice. And yeah, it's a really good price, actually, very competitive price for the work that's been done. Just a couple of things really. One of the major things about this is the Asobo globes. The place is littered with them when you come to the darkness hours, which is a pity because the subtle lighting at the darkness hours is really good. When they've done a nice job with the lighting at night time, only to have it spoiled by all of these globes floating around everywhere. If they could find a way to remove them, and I know they can be removed because other developers have done so, then that would be fine. That's the major thing. But during the daytime, it's lovely. You know, it's a really nice airport. Really good that they've done the military and the transient area to the northwest. They haven't skipped on that or anywhere else for that matter. There's lots of off-airport stuff here for you to explore. All looks really good. The only other thing is where they've got the Hercules C-130 on the starboard side, they've got the decals reversed, so that needs to be fixed. But no, a very nice scenery, not that big, goes in at just under 4 gigs, it's not massive. And yeah, the price is really competitive. I mean, the most you're going to pay here is just over $17, which is pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it's about 13 quid UK. Orbix at the moment has the best price, but as I said, you can get it at any builds or sim market. But no, I like it. I like it a lot. I need to fly in here. I do quite a bit of flying in the United States, so I will be flying in here. But yeah, thoroughly recommended. Yet another Fly2HIGH airport that I'm happy to recommend. And yeah, beauty of it is there's also a 2024 version available as well, which may even look better than this, I would think. We'll see. So there you are, folks. There's AKRON Canton Airport in Ohio in the United States. Kilo Charlie Alpha Kilo. It's a payware scenery by Fly2HIGH, currently on version 2 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020, which is what you're looking at now. And there is a 2024 version available as well. Download comes in at just over 2 gigs, and it installs at 3.91 gigs, just under 4 gigs. You can pick it up from any builds or Orbix or sim market. Orbix at the moment seems to have the best price, certainly with the conversion rates. Comes in at $15.67, which equates to roughly $17.06 US, or £13.16 UK. Now all of those prices are estimates taken from the Australian dollar, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on which country you're in. Lots of nice features, lots of good modelling and texturing, a very well made and put together airport, which is great. And as I've said in the intro, this is also available for X-Plane. So you X-Plane users, if you're watching, you might want to think about that as well. So So there you are, folks. My name's Lee. I managed to get 3 video reviews out this week. I'm quite happy about that. If you've been on the fence about whether or not to buy this airport, I hope the review has helped you. I think it's great. It's yet another wonderful little airport that enhances one of our favourite simulators. And yeah, I will be flying in here. Thoroughly recommended it. So thanks for watching, thanks for joining me, thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next video, probably next week. I need to try and get some adventure videos out. Hope you enjoyed the helicopter flight into the Sunrise Hospital. Kind of thinking that I might want to do a bit more of that, we'll see. I did purchase the ATR 72 and 42 Asobo aircraft. I want to try and learn to fly that so we can do some short haul flights in Africa and other places. So thanks again, take care folks, have a good weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye bye for now.